Ready? Look, look. After the Passover meal, Jesus and his disciples went to a quiet garden called Gethsemane. Yes. Uh-huh.
Come, pray with me, said Jesus to Peter, James, and John as he led them farther into the garden. How sad and troubled he looked.
Then Jesus fell down with his face to the ground and began to pray to his Father in heaven. Why do you think Jesus is so sad?
Why do you think Jesus is so sad, Jojo?
Because he's going to die on the cross.
Is it because he knows what will happen to him very soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Jesus looked at Peter, James, and John, he found them fast asleep. Couldn't you stay awake to pray, even for a little while? He asked them.
But now it was too late. Already they could see an angry crowd approaching with Judas. One of the 12 disciples was leading the way. What?
Why are those bad guys right there?
He's angry.
Isn't it behind you, right?
He's angry, yes.
Judas came up to Jesus and kissed him so that the crowd would know which one to grab. Then all of the disciples ran away, for they were afraid. Peter followed a little way behind.
The men took Jesus to the leaders of the people. They could find nothing wrong with Jesus. So they asked him, "Are you God's son?"
Yes, I am, he replied. This made them very angry. He must die, they shouted. Then they hit him and spit in his face. Peter waited outside to hear what would happen to Jesus. Aren't you a friend of Jesus? A servant girl asked. No, I'm not, said Peter. I don't even know him.
Just then a rooster crowed, and Peter remembered what Jesus had told him.
How about a rooster? Can you hear? This is what a rooster says.
Just then, the rooster crowed, and Peter remembered what Jesus had told him. He hurried away, and he began to sob. He was sorry for what he had said.
Then the sad day.
The sad day.
A very sad day.
Wait, he got hurt?
Yeah.
Early the next morning, just as the sun came up, the leaders took Jesus to see Pilate, the governor. Pilate asked him many questions, but Jesus would not answer. Finally he asked, "Are you really a king?" "Yes, I am," replied Jesus.
Then Pilate talked to the leaders. This man has done nothing wrong, he said. Why do you want me to kill him? But the leaders only shouted louder, he must die.
At last, Pilate agreed to do as the leaders wished. Pilate's soldiers took Jesus away. They hit him and laughed at him. Then they made him carry a big, heavy wooden cross on his back. When they reached the edge of the city, Jesus could not carry the heavy cross any longer. "Hey there! Come carry this cross!" the soldiers shouted to a man named Simon. So Simon carried the cross the rest of the way to the top of the hill. Can you open it? What is it? It's the cross.
And the soldiers took Jesus and 2 men who were robbers, and they nailed them to the cross. Jesus' friends watched and cried from a distance. When Jesus was dead, his friends took him down from the cross, and they wrapped him in a clean cloth, and they put him in a tomb. We will never see Jesus again, they thought. It was the saddest day that ever happened.
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 Okay, but now we're going to do the happy day. Ready? Very early on Sunday morning, something happened to Jesus' tomb. The ground began to shake, and a bright angel appeared. Quick as a flash, he rolled away the heavy stone that was in front of the tomb. Was Jesus inside? No, he wasn't. See the angel? See the soldiers?
A little while later, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb. How surprised she was to find the heavy stone rolled away. She ran back immediately to tell Peter and John. Peter and John ran as fast as they could to the tomb. Sure enough, the tomb was empty. Where was Jesus?
He's not there. Peter and John left, but Mary stayed near the tomb, crying. Suddenly she saw two angels inside the tomb. "Why are you crying?" they asked. "Because someone took Jesus away. I don't know where they put him," she sobbed.
Then Mary turned around and saw a man standing there. She thought he was the gardener. Who is that?
Jesus.
That's Jesus, that's right. Did you take him away? Please tell me, she pleaded. The man said, "Mary." Immediately she knew who he was.
It was Jesus. He was alive. "Go tell the disciples that you have seen me," said Jesus. But when Mary ran to tell them, they did not believe her.
That very night, when the disciples were together, Jesus suddenly appeared right in the middle of the room. The disciples could hardly believe their eyes.
So it was true after all. Jesus was alive. This was the happiest day that ever happened.
And this was the happiest day that had ever happened.
This was the happiest day that ever happened.
This was the happiest day that ever happened.
And this was the happiest day that ever happened. The end.